This is my match footage from the Topton Fishing Game 2-Gun Challenge. This match I shot with World War II gear, M1 Garand, 1911, World War II web gear, helmet the whole time. I put on this match with my fantastic staff, which is shown in this picture. So the first stage of the day was a runaround stage. We had to start off on this ladder, climb the ladder. There were 5 rifle targets on the back berm. This match uses caliber scoring. Caliber scoring in this case is full-size rifle cartridges, 30-06, 308. You only have 1 hit required. 223 requires 2 hits per target. So, being an M1 Garand 30-06, 1 hit, clear it, and move on. We have to get the 5 hits, dump the rifle, run around the berm, and then there are 3 pistol shooting boxes. You have to run to the front pistol shooting box. You're allowed to take 1 shot. If you hit the plate, you may move back a box. If you miss, you need to stay there until you get a hit. Once you've moved back, once you take that first shot, if you miss, you have to move up. If you hit, you can move back. So in this case, I get my first 2 hits. I line up for my final hit, and I miss. So I got to run back up, repeat the process, take a little bit more time, make sure I get a clean hit. Part of the struggle here, 1911A1. This was a reproduction 1911A1, but it still has the correct style sights. They are incredibly hard to see, especially under time stress. You tend to start looking down the slide instead of looking at the sights like you're supposed to. So you have to kind of catch yourself, stop, and readjust. So once you run back around the berm, grab your rifle again, come to this barrel, and from the top of the barrel, you need to get your 5 rifle hits again. Struggled a little bit from this position, and it's going to be a theme throughout the match. I had the helmet on and my aim cam glasses. The helmet is a good design, but there are certain shooting angles where the helmet ends up hitting you in the back of the neck, and then it kind of pushes the brow of the helmet down over top of your eyes. So you're kind of fighting that a little bit. Plus having the aim cam glasses with the camera mounted, it tended to push those down. So you'll see in a lot of this footage, the camera is aiming down at my hand or at the back of the rifle, and it's just because the helmet is pushing the camera lens down, which is unfortunate. But you don't know these things until you shoot the match and then review the video afterwards. So I got all my hits, come back around, grab the pistol out of the dump barrel, and then this time I was very dedicated to the idea of 1 shot, 1 hit, move on. I knew I was already cutting it a little bit close on time, so I did not want to be missing if I could avoid it, even if that meant taking that extra breath. 7-round mags, so of course I went empty there, but quick reload, fire that 1 last round. Get the hit, and then back around the berm. By this point, you're tired, you're huffing, you're puffing, still got to get your final rifle engagements. But the nice thing with M1 Garands, they have some of the best iron sights of any rifle of that era, so typically, as long as you can get a good position behind the rifle, making hits is pretty easy.
Come on, baby. Come on,
baby. Especially here,
baby.
We're shooting at 4x10 plates at about 50 yards. They're not painted, so they're a little bit hard to see. They're blending into the background, but they're definitely hittable.
Good job, soldier. All right. Shooter, are you ready? Ready. Stand by.
So for this stage, you had to start out on a stool, draw your pistol, and engage the spinner. This spinner, it was a challenging spinner for everybody throughout the day. It was a little bit slower than your normal spinner, but 45 gets it over no problem. Once you get it over, you drop your magazine. You have to hit 1 round on the plate next to it. If you miss, you get a penalty. You can't make up that shot. Then you had to grab the stool, and the stool had to finish with some part of the stool touching inside the shooting box next to that pallet. So I decided just to drop the stool there and then run back the rest of the way, so I didn't have to carry it the whole way with me. This was a very hard shooting challenge from a rifle shooting perspective, because we were at about 75 yards, which is not that far away, but the 5 small targets on that little 90-degree angled tree are skinny, and because of the angle, you have to really know what your bore offset is. Even with iron sights, it can still be a little bit off the plate sometimes, so it takes a little bit of effort to figure out where your rifle's hitting. And it also doesn't help when you have the occasional malfunction to kind of take your mind out of the game. But you get your one shot per target on that tree, and then one shot per target for those 3 hanging plates to the left of it. Once I got those hits, then I could move up and engage the tree only from the port. So I need 5 hits from here. And you can see I was kind of fighting with the helmet a little bit there. You can see my hand go up to try to adjust it. So reloads with the M1, I'm definitely getting better with. I haven't shot this in matches too often, but now I'm starting to get some experience. They're getting a little bit quicker. Still fiddling with my helmet. So I got those 5 hits. Now I have to move up to the slot and get 1 hit per round plate from the slot. Those first 2 I get no problem, and then I just struggled on this last one, and I don't know why. But sometimes that's just the way it is. And of course, 1 round gets it done.
Shooter, are you ready? Ready.
Alright, this stage was a woods run stage, blind stage. So we had to engage the rifle spinner from the box unsupported. 30-06 gets it done quick. Now this target on the left is a high value shot. For everybody that was shooting magazine fed guns, you had to drop the magazine, you fired your 1 round, couldn't make up the shot. For the RO staff, we agreed for M1 specifically, you could use the round that was already chambered in the gun, but you were only allowed to fire that 1 round, and then you had to unload and show clear. And that's just because of the way that an action on an M1 works. It'd be really difficult to unload the gun, throw an extra round in it, and then fire. So, sling the rifle, run into the woods. I took those first few shots one-handed because I thought that was really cool, and then I realized, you know what, I'm actually not that great of a pistol shooter. Maybe I switch back to 2 hands to finish the rest of this up. The 7-round magazines on the 1911, while they are historically accurate, are a little bit frustrating to deal with. Because you kind of get in a groove, you're starting to shoot well, and then the gun's empty, and now you gotta reload. And it's surprising how quickly those 7 rounds disappear on you. You had to run to this final shooting box, and there was a plate rack on the right, and a plate rack on the left. And as normal, I always end up with 1 plate standing, and I gotta just reload and take that 1 shot. A little bit of more planning on my part, I might be able to address that. Alright, this stage, on the buzzer, you have to pull the plate rack reset, engage the plates with your pistol, and then you have to pull the reset again and engage the plates again. So I go for a reload here with the round in the chamber, so I've got 8 rounds to work with. Pull it. And proceed to use all 8 rounds, but I finally got that last plate down on an empty gun. So dump the pistol in the bucket, run back to this trailer, and then you could not load your rifle till you were in the trailer facing back down range again. But from the cargo deck of the trailer, you have to hit 4 rifle poppers. Without touching the walls of the trailer, you can only be on the bottom of the trailer. So for this first string, I'm kneeling. Now engage is no problem, safety on, rifle down, grab an ammo can. These are, I think, 20mm ammo cans, and we filled them up with gravel. so they were pretty heavy. So you had to grab the ammo can, take it over to that box, place it in the box, get back in the trailer, pick up your rifle again, engage again. Got those 3. Of course, I missed the last shot. At this point, I'm starting to get a little bit tired. Rifle's getting a little bit heavy. Got that last one. Rifle unsafe, back on the cargo deck again. Grab the second ammo can. I think when I filled these ammo cans, one was a little bit wet dirt and one was a little dry dirt, so it was surprising when you pick up the second one and it's heavier than the first one, then you're really winded. So at this point, I decide discretion is the better part of valor. I'm getting a little bit tired. These shots aren't landing, so I'm just going to go prone and have a more stable shooting position. I'm panting pretty hard, struggling to see the targets now. This whole match, we do unpainted targets. We do that partially for fairness throughout the match. If everyone's shooting at the same gray target, then it's a fair target for everybody, and also partially just from a logistics thing. We don't want to have to worry about painting targets for everybody and taking all that time. So, finished off, got the last target. Relieved that that stage was done. It was not a hard stage on paper, but in person it was a little more difficult than I expected. Alright, Casarda drill.
Ready.
This is a very standard Casarda drill. You see it at a lot of in-range matches. So you start seating position, rifle loaded, laying on the ground. That was just a different start position we chose. Rifle target down there at 100 yards. 1 hit required. Once you got the hit, safety on, rifle on the ground, pointed down range, and you got to throw the kettlebell. Pick your rifle up, run to where the kettlebell lands, lay back down, get a hit. This process repeats all the way down range. So technically this bay is about 110 yards. We had 60 yards worth of kettlebell throwing, which left you at the 50-yard marker for your final shot for safety purposes. 60 yards with the 50-pound kettlebell, which is the one that I chose. Basically what it means is every stick that I cross, I got a 30-second bonus. There was a 25-pound kettlebell. People chose to use that. It would only be a 20-second bonus for every stick that I crossed. So I think it was the right move. Looking at the scores afterwards, most of the people that did really well ended up using the 50-pound kettlebell. But it was definitely more challenging because with the 25-pound kettlebell for 60 yards, generally, most people can throw that, and their throw at the 60-yard mark is about as strong as their throw at the start. With the 50-pound kettlebell, you definitely start shortening your throws as you go. You're getting tired. And we wanted to reward people that were going the extra mile and choosing the heavier weight. And I think that kind of panned out in the scores. We did have a few people at this match that were smaller stature or had some injuries that they didn't want to inflame, shoulder problems, back problems, that kind of stuff. Discretion is the better part of valor. Again, it's a match. Don't hurt yourself. And we definitely had a lot of people that made the right call, chose the lighter kettlebell, and took the score that they got. But at least they were able to go home and not have to ice anything. This is definitely one of those stages where being in World War II gear really doesn't hurt you. No major power had armor back then, so no one's wearing armor other than a helmet. So you're fairly lightweight. Getting the one hit. You can see I broke the stick there with the kettlebell by accident, but that's what it is. But the shots are relatively easy. And finish on a one shot, one hit, which is always the way you want to finish a stage if you can pull that off.
Clear. Thank you. You got it. 15256. Flag. Out like. All right.
Alright, final stage for us.
Are you ready? Ready.
This was a tunnel that we created. This is on the 200-yard range, so you had to crawl through the tunnel to get started. Your rifle and pistol were unloaded. The tunnel got narrower as you went, so you started off at a normal crawl, and then it got worse. And right there, I hit my head. Fortunately, I'm wearing a World War II era USGI steel pot helmet, so aside from bonking myself, there was no other problem. Got out the other side. You had to get 1 hit per target from the stump. Then you had to move forward to the log, 1 hit per target. And then you had to move forward to the rooftop prop and get 1 hit per target. So this is about 175 yards. The log, probably about 160. The rooftop prop was about 145 yards. And the targets were about 10-inch circles. So they're fairly decent-sized targets that we were shooting at. So no problem with irons. This whole match was really designed to be a good mix of shooting challenge and physicality. We didn't want to do the tactical games thing where you're basically doing a gym session and you occasionally get to shoot. We also didn't want it to be an extreme marksmanship challenge where if you showed up with an iron-sighted gun, you wouldn't be able to finish. So I think we worked out that balance pretty well. The whole staff shot on Saturday. This was all filmed on Saturday. And then the staff was available for ROing only on Sunday. And all the rest of the shooters showed up. And it seemed to be a pretty successful match. We had 73 or 74 shooters come out. That was excellent. See, I unload and show clear my rifle here. Hop off the rooftop. I'm going to run forward and finish up the pistol plate rack. And that puts an end to the match. This was a fun match to put on for everybody.
Oh no.
I had empty mags in my pocket by accident. I forgot to load them up. It happens. But overall, it was a really fun match, and we really enjoyed putting it on for everyone. And hopefully we're going to continue putting this on for years to come.
Okay, if you're finished, unload and show clear. Show clear, slide forward, hammer down in the holster. Get this chamber flag in that rifle.
I didn't load my mags for my pistol.
There. Okay, go forward. Okay, range is clear. 14834. 14834.
Thank you.
Nice one, except for the mags.
Yeah, I pulled out my first 2 mags and they were both empty. And I was like, uh-oh.
I was like,